Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. No importa la hora que sea, siempre es un gran momento para aprender español con Profesor Pablo. Please like, please subscribe, and those of you that do like and subscribe, I so greatly appreciate that. And please go to profesorpablo.com, one S, profesorpablo.com. Check out my ebook. There's all sorts of samples there, over 500 pages. You can get it for $15 with the Pablo 50 discount code. Okay, here we go. Today's lesson is a pit stop. Let's pull the car in the garage and let's take a look. I put complex sentences on here because they incorporate the subjunctive, the preterite, the imperfect, everything that you could think of, right? So let's take a look today and see what we have. Someone told me that they had moved away without anyone knowing. Now I put these faint little lime green dash marks, so when you translate it, this is a natural breaking spot right here, okay? That's why they're there. So let's do it piece by piece by piece. I double underlined the subjunctive triggers. We call them provocadores. Remember, a word or phrase after which you must use the subjunctive. When you see this double underline, those are subjunctive triggers, and we're going to have to follow with the subjunctive after them. Okay, let's take a look at our first one. Someone told me that. The verb decir. Told me, well, that's in the past. It's preterite. It's a one-time thing. Someone told me that. So someone would be alguien me. Now it's a J verb. Decir in the preterite. Alguien me dijo que. There's no accent on dijo. Alguien me dijo que. Someone told me that. They had moved away. They had moved away. Mudarse, reflexive, is to move away. Mudarse, M-U-D-A-R-S-E. So, they had moved away would be se, it's reflexive, habían mudado. Se habían mudado means they had moved away. If you said se mudaron with a preterite, it's the same idea. It works. It's fine. Se mudaron, they moved away. Se habían mudado, they had moved away. I happen to choose here, they had moved away. So we have, alguien me dijo que se habían mudado without. That's a subjunctive trigger. Sin que, two words, S-I-N-Q-U-E. Sin que, without anyone knowing. Sin que nadie. Sin que nadie. Now, since this is in the past, and this is a subjunctive trigger, there are only two subjunctives, present or past, 8 or 9. We need to go past subjunctive because the sentence is in the past. The time frame is in the past. So this would be sin que nadie. Take the verb saber. Take it to the preterite, ellos fueron, supieron. Change that final O to an A and drop the N off, and you got supiera. So that would be sin que nadie supiera. Or, if you prefer, you could put the lo in front of supiera. Sin que nadie lo supiera, without anyone knowing about it. Okay, so let's look at the whole sentence. Alguien me dijo que se habían mudado sin que nadie lo supiera or supiera. Alguien me dijo que se habían mudado sin que nadie lo supiera. Alguien me dijo que se habían mudado sin que nadie lo supiera. Alguien me dijo que se habían mudado sin que nadie lo supiera. Okay, that's it. Down here. By the way, on our last lesson, our prior lesson, at the bottom in orange here in the middle I had quiero. I want to know who said it. Quiero saber quién lo dijo, and I want to know who did it. Quiero saber quién lo hizo. When I wrote out quiero on the whiteboard, I forgot to put the O on the end of quiero. So my apologies, and that's what this little dot over here is to remind me to mention that. So it just came to mind now. Okay, I want to get there early so we don't have to wait in line. Well, let's take a look at it. I want to get there early. That's just like a first-year sentence. Quiero. Remember, to get somewhere, we use the verb to arrive, llegar. Quiero llegar allí. Quiero llegar allí temprano. I want to get there early. Quiero llegar allí temprano. How do you say so when it's a subjunctive trigger? Para qué. 2 words, para qué. Quiero llegar allí temprano para que we don't have to, no tengamos que. Quiero llegar allí temprano para que no tengamos que, to wait in line. You could say esperar en línea, hacer fila, or hacer cola. Any of the 3 will work. Quiero llegar allí temprano para que no tengamos que esperar en línea, hacer cola, o hacer fila. Quiero llegar allí temprano para que no tengamos que hacer fila, esperar en línea, hacer cola. I'm going to bring my new camera so you can see it and I can take some photos if that's okay with you. All right, let's go to the first part here. I am going to bring my new camera. That's first year Spanish, basic. Voy a traer mi cámara nueva. Voy a traer mi cámara nueva. So, subjunctive trigger, it's always para que. Para que, you can see it. Para que puedas verla, V-E-R-L-A. Para que puedas verla y que puedas sacar fotos. Voy a traer mi cámara nueva para que puedas verla y que pueda sacar fotos, if that is okay with you. You could just say, si está bien contigo, or si eso está bien contigo. They both work. Si está bien contigo. If it's fine with you, si está bien contigo. If that is fine with you, si eso está bien contigo. It happened before we got there. Another subjunctive trigger. It's in the past, we need past subjunctive. To happen is pasar. Yes, we have ocurrir and acontecer, but most common would be pasar. It happened. That's preterite past. It's over, a one-time happening. Pasó. Before, antes de que. We have to go subjunctive. To get somewhere, again, is the verb llegar. Pasó antes de que. What's the we form? Take llegaron, change that O to an A. You've got llegaron. Get rid of the end and add M-O-S. Pasó antes de que llegáramos. It happened before we got there. Pasó antes de que llegáramos. There it is. Okay, my mom wasn't feeling well, so we decided to stay home so she could rest. Notice we have both so's. There's the subjunctive trigger, para que, and there's just the simple así que, which is not a subjunctive trigger. Let's go for it. My mom wasn't feeling well. To feel, in terms of feeling well or sick or something, is sentirse. Sentirse. So it's reflexive. We need to go imperfect because when we're referring to this, to that moment, she wasn't feeling well. She wasn't done not feeling well, so we need the imperfect, an ongoing past condition. Mi mamá no se sentía bien. Could you say, mi mamá no se estaba sintiendo bien? Of course. Mi mamá no se sentía bien. So, así que, 2 words, así que we decided, decidir in the preterite, decidimos, and now an infinitive phrase, quedarnos en casa. Así que decidimos quedarnos en casa. Mi mamá no se sentía bien, así que decidimos quedarnos en casa. My mom wasn't feeling well. Mi mamá no se sentía bien, so we decided to stay home. Así que decidimos quedarnos en casa. So, double, it's underlined, right? This is subjunctive trigger. It's para que. Now we got to go past subjunctive because we're in the past. So she could rest. Could, that's the verb poder, P-O-D-E-R, poder. So we need the past subjunctive. Take the preterite ellos pudieron, change the O to A, pudieron, drop the N, and you got it. And the verb to rest is descansar. Okay, here we go. Mi mamá no se sentía bien, así que decidimos quedarnos en casa para que pudiera descansar. para que pudiera descansar. Mi mamá no se sentía bien, así que decidimos quedarnos en casa para que pudiera descansar. A long sentence is nothing more than a group of shorter sentences or phrases linked together. That's all there is to it. And the more skilled you get, you're able to make lengthier sentences as you go along. Mi mamá no se sentía bien, así que decidimos quedarnos en casa para que pudiera descansar. Okay, our last one. Don't shout so much, you're going to wake up the dead. Don't shout. Okay, you're obviously probably talking to someone with whom you're on a first name basis, so we're going to use the negative to command. It's going to end in opposite vowel S. Gritar, it's going to end in ES. No grites tanto. No grites tanto. You're going to wake up the dead. Now there's despertar and there's despertarse. When you talk about waking, you waking up in the morning, that's despertarse. Like I wake up at 6 a.m. Todos los días a las 6 de la mañana me despierto, I wake up. An alarm clock is called a despertador, a waker-upper, if you will. Well, if you're waking someone up other than yourself, it's not reflexive because you're not doing it to yourself, you're doing it to someone else. So here, we're simply going to use despertar. No grites tanto. Vas a despertar a los muertos. You need the personal A in front of los muertos, the dead, because anytime you do something to a person, in this case you're talking about waking them up, you need that personal A. We use it with dogs as well, many times with our pets, because we love them so much. But not as much as they love us, right? Oh my gosh. No grites tanto, vas a despertar a los muertos. All right, we've learned a lot. We know our two so's are así que and para que. We know that without, sin que. We know that para que. We know that antes de que are subjunctive triggers. When you have a subjunctive trigger, you have to look at the sentence. Is it in the present or is it in the past? If it's in the present, you're going to go verb number 8, present subjunctive. If it's in the past, you're going to go verb number 9, past subjunctive. We know how to form our subjunctives by now. Again, imitate and create. Natural in and natural out. How do babies learn their native languages? And nobody speaks a native language better than a native, right? Right? Of course not. And it's because it's drilled. They hear it a gazillion times. Input, 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 and then it starts coming out, coming out, and coming out. That's why learning a foreign language is incredible. And there are a lot of techniques we've used a lot. We use communicative grammar. We talk about things that are real Spanish for real people. But I want to impress upon you again, and I know beating on a dead horse by now, but the natural way of learning is getting your language learning module, getting bombarded with all this stuff, all these phrases, and then the language learning module on its own develops speaking skills. It's just like a baby. When they're born, they can't walk. The baby doesn't have cognizant plans in his or her head, in the brain, on how, I got to do this, I got to practice this exercise, I need to do this to learn how to walk. It happens naturally. That's why I say natural in, natural out. So we're bombarding that language learning module, loading it up so you guys can fire out. Okay, hope you liked the lesson. Pit stops are fun. And we have our frases útiles. Soon I want to do a series on Michael Jackson, talking about his life and his career. I just saw the movie. It was inspirational. Me encantó la película de Michael Jackson. Quisiera ir a verla una segunda vez o cuando salga en Netflix o para poder comprar. La voy a comprar para tenerla porque me impresionó mucho la película de Michael Jackson. También quiero hacer una serie de temas sobre Kobe Bryant, el gran Laker que murió trágicamente en un accidente de helicóptero hace algunos años. Pero eso es para el futuro. Ahora la lección de hoy. Ojalá hayan aprendido algo. Cuídense mucho, los quiero. Je vous aime. Los quiero. En français on dit, en francés uno dice, je vous aime, je vous aime. Yo creo, je pense. Okay, a little bit of French. I remember a little bit of my French. Again, I took it for 8 weeks in college many moons ago. But Love you guys. Cuídense. Hasta la próxima lección.